what's your view on the halvening? It's coming up in May. Do you think it's going to have a positive effect on the price? Is that one of the reasons why you're bullish or not bullish this year? What are your thoughts on
it? Generally speaking, I've been very bullish going into the halvening because it can be priced in on the one hand and yet still be a massive catalyst for future growth on the other. And those sound like two separate things, but what I think people have traditionally underestimated is how important that accelerating narrative gets as the actual halving date gets closer, right? The marketing meme kind of takes on a life of its own.
It's a massive event.
Yeah, exactly. And so that this is true if you've ever run an event, right? We tried an experiment in the second year of Consensus where we were basically going to do, it was like almost an automated market maker, right? Like we were thinking about like a Uniswap type model for ticket pricing, where the first people that were in were going to spend, $500, and then the next person it'd be like 505, and then 510, blah blah blah, and then ultimately, you'd be able to smooth out all of your pre-sales because people would want to get it in at the lower price. Well, what ended up happening is no one bought early on because there was no rush to be 505 versus 510. When they did start to come in, and this happens with all event planners, is you'd have some cliff date and you say you have to buy your tickets by, January 30th.
A month before the event, and then the price goes up for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or we're tacking on 500, or there's going to be another increase. So you might as well get off the pod and purchase your tickets. Those cliffs work, right? So I think that one of the most fortunate accidents in Bitcoin's design, and Satoshi's talked about this, maybe a smooth linear growth rate and block production would have been the better way to go. I actually think that this halving was brilliant because it created these artificial flag dates that rallied everybody around the narrative of the scarcity of this underlying asset, and ultimately maybe isn't as drastic over time as the percentage change drops, but still becomes at least a high signal marketing event for the rest of the industry, and it shows that we're that much closer to fully mined Bitcoin. And there are only a couple million of these left. You're going to have to buy them secondary versus mining them yourselves.
Yep, and it I think there's for this specific halvening. I think post this halvening, please correct me if I'm wrong, Bitcoin's inflation schedule or inflation rate will officially be lower than gold's, which will be the first time that has happened. Is that your understanding as well?
I don't know about gold. It will be under the target inflation rate. It'll be under 2% for the Fed.
Yep.
But gold, I believe, is around 1%, a little over 1% new supply is manufactured each year. So we might still have another year or two to go on that end. But it's converging.
Right.
And the fact that it is now between those two benchmarks is interesting in its own right.